Hi, I am Maggie, and this is kind of my first video. It's a little bit strange. I just got back from GDC, and it's been so awesome. I've gotten to meet some really amazing people, and it's inspired me. I came back and I've just had so many emails, not only to do with Alpha Collective, which is my eSport team, but also just all this good news from PlanetSide 2. It's been so nice to hear all of the great comments that people have said about our demo. I wasn't expecting, I don't know, I guess I was really nervous, and it's always nerve-wracking to show your game to the fans, especially fans who are like waiting. I think like who kind of have expectations. I think that I've worked on a lot of games where people they're kind of more for a different audience, so and it's not a sequel, so it's kind of people aren't expecting something because they don't know what to expect. Whereas this, people kind of have a bit of expectations, but at the same time they want you to do all these innovative things. So for me, it's been really, really awesome. Anyways, to get to the whole point of this, I have been getting so many emails and people want interviews and things like that. And so I really wanted to do this one because this lovely lady has asked me to do this interview, and it's been probably a month since I responded to her. And I think she originally wanted this to be more of a writing response, as like a blogish type thing, but I thought it would be kind of cool to make a video, and it's my first video. So I may put up like a little thing that, says the question in text, if I can learn how to do that. I've never edited a video before, so this will be interesting. She has them split up in different categories. One of them is my personal, another is game developer, and then gaming and gamers, and then esports. So she has them in different sections, and I'm going to just read them off in it. So then I'm starting at the top with personal. The first question she has for me is, you originally studied music and healthcare administration. How did you end up as a games developer? Well, this is kind of one of those stories that, I don't know, someone could make a movie out of almost. I was just a gamer, and I got really involved in the community. I have been playing games for a really long time. I was going to college at the time, and it was my hobby, so I just played games and blogged and podcasted and really got into it. And then one day, someone was like, why don't you try to get a job as a game designer? And I was like, oh, I never thought about doing that. And so I applied, and there's a bunch of stuff that goes on in between that, but I got the job, and here I am, and I'm gonna be happier. It's a dream come true. So it's been really, really cool for me, and I hope that other people can follow their dreams, and I hope that my story really pushes people to follow their dreams, because I love my job, and it's so much different. I've worked plenty of jobs in my life that I just didn't love. I just went there for my 8-hour shift, and there are times when I feel like that, even in my job now, but the majority of the time I go to work and I absolutely love my job. So, on to the next question. What has your journey been like in a more male-dominated environment, both as a developer and gamer? So this is I always get this kind of question. Someone always has to ask me about being a female gamer or being a female designer. In general, being a designer has been really cool for me. I have gotten to see technology in this game industry and the communities grow. I'm in that generation where I really got to see, from Atari to, Commodore 64 to Segas to N64 to watching computers and even just like monitors, growing from being like 20 million pounds to now we have these things that I just like put in my purse and run away. It's so crazy. It's really crazy. I remember when used to have to dial up to get internet when it first came out. And technology has been awesome to me, and I've just been so fortunate to be able to see it grow and be part of it growing. So for me, it's been wonderful. The journey has been wonderful. I think that as a gamer and as a developer, I have gotten to just experience communities that I love. And gaming has just been such a passionate thing for me. As a female, which is I think what she more so wants to see, yeah, I have to deal with some people who are, for lack of better terms, assholes. I think that men have to deal with that too. Obviously, we have to deal with some like really strange things, like the kitchen meme. I guess we belong in the kitchen, and well, I don't know. I know so many women who can't cook, and you would not want them to cook for you. So I don't know. I guess that we kind of had this conversation in the Women's in Games International Lunch at GDC, and someone had asked, what do you do about in a situation where, like, many of us have been in a situation like this, where you are basically getting trolled, or someone's making fun of you for the way you look, or being female in general. And I don't know, I've gotten some weird messages. Like one time on Twitter, someone messaged me and said, "Stop posting pictures of you looking like a supermodel. You're a game developer." What does that mean? Like, does game developer have to look a certain way? Like, I don't know. It was very strange. I was like, that's kind of a compliment, right? But it's also not a compliment. It was a little weird. And, oh my goodness, it was just so funny reading all the tweets that everyone did. But I wish there was a better way to fix that problem. And I think a lot of people at that panel at the Women's in Games lunch said the same thing. If someone figures out how to solve that, please share it with the rest of the world, because women and men and, many different types of people have had to deal with discrimination, and it's not fun. It's not. And the best you can do is do your best. That's all I can say. Just work really hard, improve everything that you do. Just become better and better at what you love, and don't let anyone push you down. There are always going to be people who want to tell you you're not good enough, tell you you're ugly, tell you I don't know, go make them a sandwich. It's just troll them back. No, don't troll them back, but just really be the best you can be, and things will come back to you. And those people who treat you like that are really not going to make it far in life. People are going to know them, and their reputation's going to hold. The internet is a little bit different, but you still get a reputation. I mean, you can easily start over, but you gotta stick it through. If you're getting messages like that, just really don't let them get to you. It's the best I can say. I think Day9, he's one of the casters I love listening to, and he gives such good advice on his daily shows. But he had said that if there's any word in an email that he gets that's rude, he just deletes it and never looks at it. So I think that's good advice, in my opinion. Just delete it from your mind and try not to focus too much on the bad things, as long as you continue to do better and be a better person. Those things shouldn't get to you. That was a really long answer. On to the next one. You have been involved in almost every level of gaming. This speaks of a great passion for this medium its culture and its culture. Where did this drive come from? I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer. I don't know what else to say. I think that if you love music, you will become a musician. If you love gaming, you'll become a gamer. If you love dancing, you'll become a dancer. Just do the things you love. And not that you only can love one thing, but I'm just saying, just that's where my passion comes from. My next question is, your favorite game genre is massively multi-online role-playing games, MMORPGs. Why is this your game of choice, and which of these have you enjoyed playing most? That's always the question I get, the game that you loved the most. It's so hard to answer. Okay, so the reason I love these games is community. You get to meet people from all over the world. It's amazing. The first time, you get into EverQuest or Ashwin's Call and you talk to someone, or what was that other game that I played a really long time ago when I was in high school all the time, because you could play it through the web browser. I'll think of it. But, and you're talking to someone and they're like, oh, where are you from? And you tell them, and they're like from Germany, and you're from the US or Canada or Brazil or the Philippines. It's so awesome, and you can bond and make friendships and live in this world that's beautiful and filled with story and life and exploration and fighting and stuff that you might not always be able to do in real life. But yeah, it's the community. I really love it. I love playing with other people in games. I think that I can play like single player games, and they're pretty enjoyable too, but it's not the same. I think anyone who also loves MMORPGs will feel the same way. So I think that's it, right? Oh, no, I didn't answer the last part, but I can't pick one. I really can't pick one that's my favorite. I have so many good memories and so many games. I hope no one hates me for that. Let's see. What impact has being involved in gaming on so many levels had on you personally? It has made me see things from different perspectives. I think it's really helped me as a designer, especially because I get to make a lot of the decisions now, and I can relate to like the player, like different types of players, and I can like kind of get in that mindset and put myself in their shoes and try to design a system or a functionality or whatever it is that I'm designing to really benefit that type of gamer and that person. Whether that's an artistic game style or educational or just entertainment, I really can think like that type of player and figure out what they want to do and how they feel. So I think that's what it's done for me, is really allow me to step in the shoes of different types of gamers and make systems that allow people to really do all the things that they love in the industry, whether that's, casting, podcasting, playing, obviously playing, and all of that. So now we're moving on to the game developer section. What background do you have in making games? I guess this is like where do my resume type thing. I was in QA for a little bit. I worked on Free Realms. That was my first game, and now I'm on PlanetSide 2. So I've been able to work on a lot of games throughout my really short career so far. I've only been working at my employers for about 4 years now. So if you know the game cycle for games, it's usually 2 to 5 years, and I've been so fortunate to be able to work with awesome teams that are able to complete projects quickly with the quality that needs to be put into the game. So yeah, I've been really fortunate in that area. Let's see. you've been involved in Be a Hero, play games to raise money for local kids. Tell us more about this aspect of your gaming lifestyle. So for those of you who do not know what Be a Hero is, it's this site where gamers can sign up and play games and make money to donate to charity for kids. And I've seen a lot of my friends doing this, so usually they do it in big groups for their company or whatever, and I decided that I want to do that. That sounds fun. I'm already gaming all the time, so why not save some money? And so I did, and originally I was like, okay, I'm going to try to make $100 because I didn't know how much people would donate. It's kind of a silly thing, and so I made the $100 within like the first few hours, and I was like, wow, I could really make more money for the hospital that I was promoting. And so I upped it, and someone else was like, you really need to up it to something really high because you gotta have higher goals. And it was like, that's very motivational and inspirational. I'll do that. So my goal was 1,500-ish, and then when I hit 1,500, I went up to 2K, and I made it about like 1,700-ish or 1,500-ish. I can't quite remember, but it was really nice, and I appreciate everyone who donate money. It's for such a great cause, and you can tax it, so it's refundable. It's for a good cause. I mean, I was one of those kids. I grew up with not much money and kind of raising my brother, and I had to deal with a lot of things, and it was really nice for me to have people like that in my life who, I'm gonna cry, gave my brother presents for Christmas, allowed us to get food on the table. It's so much appreciated, and I hope someday I'm able to give back to people as much as they gave to me. You are creator as well as host on Slash Group Say. Tell us more about this webcast. So when she originally had emailed me about this interview, I was doing a webcast, and I only had done one episode at that time, and I was contacted by Phalor, who is a Guild Wars 2 player. Well, he wants to be a Guild Wars 2 player, that is. And he was like, I really want to do a podcast, and I know that you were kind of looking for something to do, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in joining me and co-hosting. And so instead of doing Slash Group Say, I am now doing Boons and Conditions. It's a Guild Wars 2 podcast, and we plan on doing maybe some webcast stuff in the future as well, but at the moment that's what it is. So that's what it is. It's a Guild Wars 2 podcast. Check them out. It's boonsandconditions.com, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. We've been working really hard to make the site and to get the podcast rolling, and we're trying to do it every week, so we just hope that everyone enjoys it. The final section she has for me... Oh, I just skipped a bunch of stuff. Alright. Writing lore is your most favorite part of game development. Where did this love originate from? I love reading. So for me, writing has been an awesome outlet as well. Reading books and poetry and listening to music. Just, I don't know. I have these things in my head that I just want to let out. And so as a kid, I would always read, and then I would write lots and lots of poetry. I have so much poetry and lyrics. And I would just write stories, and I've taken a few writing classes in college as my extra classes. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I continue to write on my side. I don't really get to write as much now on PlanetSide 2. I got to write some original, like, overall arcing story stuff, but now we have, Marv Wolfman writing our lore, so I've been kind of doing more systems design, which has been really cool for me. I worked on some Free Realms lore as well, and it was fun. I just like writing. I don't know what else to say about that. I guess just reading, listening to music, and those lyrics and poetry just really draw to me, so it made me really love writing as well. Where do you draw your concepts from when developing? A lot of designing comes from just your experiences in other games and building on that. I think that a lot of new ideas kind of build on old ideas, and we all kind of steal from each other in some weird inception of design. It's crazy madness, but I guess I just think about what the functionality is that I'm trying to attain, whether that's trying to tell a specific story in a quest, in a combat situation, or making some kind of system that allows you to do X, Y, Z. You just have to think about how that works and how you want it to work and the best way to do it with the resources that you have available. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. In your opinion, what does the female perspective bring to the development table that is unique? Oh, so another one of these questions. As a female, I think that this is a toughie, because I don't really think of myself as a female when I'm designing things. Is that weird? I think of myself as just a designer. I'm like, alright, that's system design or this lore I need to write, and I just kind of do it. I don't really think about how I guess maybe I have a different voice, so writing female characters is a lot different from me, and I have a different perspective because the way I see other people around me. I think a lot of the times when I'm writing a character, I kind of take off of things that I've seen in the world. Like, for instance, at GDC, I was in the airport, and a lot of times I just like watching people and the way they interact, or like I call it animating, but it's kind of a really weird term. The way they animate with other people and communicate and the reactions. It's really good to pull from that when I'm writing. So I guess it's more of my perspective as a person than as a female or a male. I just take things from the experience that I've experienced in games and throughout the world, and I try to make sure I help design the best possible thing I can. You are working on PlanetSide 2, an MMO FPS. What has been your role in the development of this game? I have gotten to do so much on this team. I originally started and they wanted me to do a lot of lore stuff, so I came up with a general high level story, and then we had someone else start writing the actual lore, because that really takes someone to sit and do that. I get to do a little bit of revising, which is fun, but I don't really get to do a lot of that because I'm so busy. And then I got to do some UI design, which was really fun and interesting. I'm not really a UI designer, and I think that out of all the types of designing I could do, it's probably my least favorite, but at the same time I feel like it's a really, really important aspect of games, because that's how you interact with the game. So it's been really cool and fun and different. And then I kind of got to do a lot of systems, because systems are attached to a lot of the UI bits. I got to work on a little bit of marketplace stuff, and then now I'm on the Combat Fail team, so I just do systems, and I make sure that combat feels really well, really good, really fun, really balanced, and I do abilities and attachments and weapons and that kind of stuff. And at some point, I'm assuming I'm going to be able to do a lot more level design stuff once we get to that point. But yeah, I've been able to do a lot in my whole 4 years of game development. So as a designer, I've gotten to experience a lot, and I think that's awesome for me. A lot of the times, a designer gets stuck into one situation where they're just a writer or they're just a specific type of designer, and I've really gotten to express all the different types of design that I can inside, and it's been really cool for me. What do you think of the current state of the game developer scene? I think that there are a lot of people who want to be game developers at the moment. And I think that a lot of people don't really necessarily know how development works. I get a lot of times people are like, oh, you're an artist. No. Oh, you're no, I'm a designer. So, and then there's producers and marketing and PR. There's just so many aspects of development that I don't think people quite understand. So we're still a really young industry, and I think we need to grow, and I think we need to grow. I really do. As far as development goes with games, I think that we are at a stage where there's so many choices for people, and we really have the ability to come up with completely new concepts for how to give people a story. There have been untapped things that I think that we can accomplish. A lot of times right now we're trying to mix mediums because we're like, oh, we want to tell a story, but if we don't do it in a little video flash thing, people won't listen. We're trying to force people into these other weird mediums that we don't necessarily, I don't think they necessarily have a place in games, to some extent, depending on the game. But I think there's definitely ways that we can go around that and present a story in a different way. Like I said, we're a really young industry. We have a ways to go. So I think that we have a lot more that we can do. Gaming and gamers. Since your days as the Blood Mage class lead for Vanguard Saga of Heroes, you've been actively involved in gaming communities. Share with us some of your lows and highs in dealing with gaming communities. Oops. As far as high and low moments, I think that I've had more good experiences with communities than I have had bad. I've just been part of really good communities, so I haven't really experienced as many horror stories as I know other people have. So I'm trying to think. I guess I do have to deal with kind of people who are being little poop heads. So that's frustrating. It's frustrating to deal with people who are negative and make you feel bad about what you're doing when you have so many other people who are really happy and excited and pumped. And like I said earlier, it's one of those moments where you just have to let it go and do the things you love and do them well. I mean, we're all here to have fun. We're here to make games. We're here to play games and just experience things and have fun. So, yeah. These are all the things I already did. So, the final thing is esports. Why did you decide to shift from casual gaming to competitive gaming? So, I don't think I ever did casual gaming in the terms of what most people think casual gaming is. See, I don't really like the words hardcore or casual, but I think that people can relate to those words who are gamers, so I'm going to use them for lack of better terms at the moment. But I've always been more of a hardcore gamer. I've always been top worldwide, or at least top of my server as far as guilds and outfits and clans or whatever we want to call them. So I've never really been casual, except for when I'm in between games. Then I kind of just play like single player games. But yeah, I guess the transition from just being that to now wanting to do more competitive things and get into the esports scenes is that I'm a huge esport fan. I've been watching StarCraft 2. I like some of the Call of Duty ones too, and of course Halo. I grew up with Halo. And of course StarCraft, the original. So I've just kind of grown up with this and watched this whole esport community grow, and it's been really exciting for me it's been really exciting for me as part of the audience. So it'd be really awesome for me to give back to that community as an actual gamer, or even if I'm just a team manager of the game team. It'll be really cool to get into that and help promote it to an extent that I wasn't able to before. So for me, what really gets me into that is I am a competitive gamer. I like being the best, or at least trying to be the best, and I think that any gamer who is as competitive as I am is always striving to just be better. And even people who aren't, even some people who are just casual gamers, they really strive to be the best they can be. So that doesn't even go for gaming, that's anything that you do in life. To me, I just want to do the best. And sometimes, it takes me a little longer than other people, and sometimes I excel really quickly. It just depends on what I'm doing and how well I can get it explained to me, or how easy it is just to get involved. So for me, I'm a competitive gamer. I've always been. So getting into esports to me just seemed like the right thing to do at the time. I'm really glad that Guild Wars 2 is putting their foot down and trying to get into this whole community, because it makes me really happy. I hope that a lot more developers do that, publishers and developers promote esports to all you people. Share with some of us your highlights in competitive gaming. I guess I'm just starting. I just started doing this whole Alpha Collective thing. It's my esport team. Some people will say it's not an esport team, but it is, until we are proven wrong. If we do get our asses kicked, if we do get our butts kicked, then you know what? We'll just have to work harder to make sure that we get to that top spot. But you know what? I have a feeling that we have a really great team of gamers who love gaming, who have the time to dedicate to it, and I think that we're going to do well, and I hope we do well. And even if we don't do well at first, I think that we have the passion and determination and skill to really work really hard and accomplish great things and help promote the industry. So for me, that has been one of the greatest highlights for me so far, is just being able to set this up and see everyone who's been so helpful and encouraging. I have a lot of friends who are already in esports who have been telling me, yeah, just keep going at it. It's really good to see more people. We need more people in here. We need more gamers. We need more publicity. So, that's been really awesome for me. What has been some of the greatest challenges you faced in competitive gaming? So since, like I said, we're really new, the challenge for us has been trying to promote ourselves and get ourselves out there even without a game. Since Guild Wars 2 is undetermined as far as launch date, we've just been really working really hard at playing other competitive games together, working on some team building skills, and really just our coach is trying to really talk to us about what is important and how to think properly during certain situations, when you're under pressure, that kind of thing. And it's hard right now. I think that's the challenge, is trying to practice and hone in on your skills when you don't really have a game to play, and just trying to read everything that you can possibly read and imagine all the things that you can imagine. So, next question is, you're a team manager for Alpha Collective. What does this position entail? So since we are a really small business, I have to take care of a lot of things. I have to do HR. Right now, we don't really have payroll, so we don't have to worry about that at the moment, but I will have to do that. Anything business-wise, any emails that we get, inquiries, basically anything that involves us in PR, HR. I just have to work on all of that stuff. I'm also working on promoting us, trying to keep all our social networks and website working well. I've been fortunate to have another teammate who's been really helping me with website stuff, so that's been really awesome. Shout out to him. And so, yeah, that's what I do. I just kind of make sure everything runs and make sure everyone's happy. Make sure that if we need something specifically, like a specific person, graphics designer, which we are working on right now too, and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of, right now, fundamental foundation stuff that we're working on just to get our team really settled. We're also looking at like sponsor things, but like I said before, that's another problem, is kind of showing something that we don't quite have yet, and like we can't really prove things until the game comes out. So for us, that's been the challenge and kind of been a problem for me in that position. But yeah, that's what I do at the moment, and my responsibilities will continue to grow. In South Africa, gamers are still debating over if gaming can be classified as a sport. On your side of the planet, gamers are seen as professional esport players. How has gaming progressed from being seen as casual to the recognized esports that it is today? That's a really big question. Community. I guess I've been saying community a lot, but community is what made esports the esport community. I mean, if you look at some of the big gaming events like MLG, GSL, and all those wonderful people who have worked so hard on getting competitions and really promoting these games as sports, those are the people who watch it, the people who are playing, the people who are doing any administration work. Those are the people who are making esports what they are. Without them and without you, I hope that you guys are all into it, and I know that every time I talk about esports, I get some more followers who are like, wow, I didn't even know about this. Now I'm watching StarCraft 2 all day, and thanks, Perfect Storm. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I just love this stuff, so I'm always posting about it, and I'm glad that I can get other people into it, 'cause it helps not only me, but other gamers out there who really want to make it in the competitive scene. So yeah, community people. Just really, if you like esports, promote it. Buy that shirt from your team that you love. Promote them. Help them become a bigger thing. If you have the money to get passes for specific things like MLG, GSL, pay for it. You're the one who's going to make it a big thing. So that's it. And that's all her questions. So I hope Han enjoys this, and she's probably not expecting this at all, so when I send this to her, she's going to be like, oh my goodness. But yeah, this is kind of a very strange first video, but at the same time it's kind of a great introduction, I think. So I hope that you guys all enjoy it, and if you have more questions for me, you can always email me at mmakrohn@gmail.com. I'll put it on the end screen. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Perfect Storm. I'll put that up there somewhere. Subscribe to me down here. I'm going to try to make more videos. I think vlogging might be a lot easier than writing blogs at the moment because I'm so busy, and with PlanetSide 2 I am going to be working so much harder in the next couple months, so I might not always have time to write, and I have so many things. I have like 12 topics I need to write about from GDC that I'm really excited about, and I have lots of things to say, and it's very inspirational to me. So, and I just want to thank everybody that I've met at GDC. It's been so wonderful to meet other people in the industry. I'm happy where I'm at. I love my company. I love the games that I've been able to work on and that I get to continue to work on. So thank you so much. And thank you, all you fans and all you people who are gamers. You're the ones who make our communities. You're the ones who make these games what they are. Without you, a lot of them wouldn't be games. They would just be virtual worlds with no one in it. It's really sad. So on that note, I will leave you, and I hope that you guys all enjoyed this. Let me know. Click that like button or dislike button if you didn't like it, which would make me sad, but it's okay. Maybe this isn't the best way to vlog or whatever. So, peace, toodles, love you guys. The cliche heart that everyone probably hates because it's been overdone. Well, I like saying heart times 9001 because I love you all. Over 9,000. Anyways, yeah, I'm outie. Toodles.